All right, we're cooking with gas. I'm here to drop some truth on you. I'm here to educate you to the next step of the process. One of the things that you're going to have to do to move to the next level is suffer. And I just got a message today about what's the best way to pay off my debt. What's the best, easiest, pain-free way to pay off some debt? People have got to stop looking to avoid suffering. This will hold you back so much. Let's talk about what I went through. I went through a few years of painful economic suffering. Few years where it was in my face every day that I wasn't doing the correct thing economically, which forced me to change. See, a lot of you are too comfortable. You know, you come at me like, I want you to really think about this. I remember when I was doing the storage auction stuff and I had people coming at me like, Glendon, what's the best way that I can make $5, $6, $7, $8, $10,000 a month within the next few months without spending a lot of money? And they were asking me this question. Like, okay, I'm going to tell you how to make $30, $40, $50,000 in this one conversation. No pain, no drudgery, no hardship. This is what I keep seeing. People are attempting to avoid suffering, change, and hardship. You're not getting to the next level unless you go through some hurdles. People, some of you have been here for 10 years. And your life hasn't gotten any better because you have not made the effort to make it better. Because, you know, I look at the audience as people come who kind of hang out. As long as there is some wiggle room, is there some way that I can not work as hard or not do what I need to do, I'll listen to you, Glendon. But the minute that you start trying to hold me accountable, the minute you start talking that stuff of hard work, sacrifice, hard decisions, suffering, I'm out of here. And you're going to keep running from the truth because it doesn't take you that long to change your life economically. It took me 6 weeks. Now, what went into those 6 weeks? I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. I was ready to change. I remember, like it was yesterday, in that office, I got to let you go. We got to keep the people we hired direct, no agency people. And I can get you probably 2 more weeks. Now I figure it out. At that moment, I became accountable for self. And I went home and I did something that worked out quite nicely because I was taking my future under my wings. It was 100% control. And one of the things that, a lot of you guys, you're not going to get out of the jam. No one told you to go out and buy that $75,000 Hellcat with that $850 monthly payment for 8 years. Nobody told you to do that. You did it because you wanted to do it. You did it because you was like, Hellcat. Vroom, 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 vroom. 700 horsepower, 800 horsepower. I'm in a Hellcat. I don't have a nice house to park this Hellcat. I don't have any business money. I don't have any assets. I don't have any money tucked away for the kids. But I got this Hellcat in my driveway. That makes me somebody. That makes me somebody because I drive a Hellcat. I've seen this madness that has happened. One of the things I posted on my Facebook page today was that these people are paying all this money to learn how to flip. Now, once again, I'm getting into real estate, but I'm not just jumping into it. What's the hardest part of this? Your contractors. That's where most people run into. I'm looking at Zillow and every day. Every day I see somebody that got. They got a project going on. They ran out of money, and now they're trying to sell the project. And then the language is like, only $30K. They're trying to sell this project for $160,000 and say, you only need to put 30 more K in it and make it flip ready. So you put 160, you put 30K, you need to sell it for about 250 to come out nice. That house doesn't comp at 250. Even with great repairs and stuff, it comps at like 215. So you buy that house at 160, you put $30,000 into it, minus real estate fees, you gonna make 10 grand or less. Because you got all these people in the marketplace that don't know what they're doing. They just got money. They just, and I'm just sitting there like, I may become a contractor. I may go ahead, hire a crew of people to renovate my flips so I have consistent contractors. I have a standard, because this is how I've been thinking about it. Because, once again, I'm not broke where I have to jump into real estate to make a lot of money. I can sit back and think about this, because at first it's like $32,000 wholesale fee. That's rehab money. So I'm looking at, how to get in there. What's up, people? Rod, for real estate, you have to find good people to always follow. That's why I want to hire employees and I want to be the contractor. Junie, I'm no expert. It sounds like poor planning and exclamations. Watch this other channel I like a lot, and the guy basically points out where people are making mistakes and are adding value. Well, there's this thing. Let me show it to you. Oh, let's see. Here we go. Let me show it to you. All right. Make sure that we are live. If you think flipping houses is easy, it doesn't take much time, you stupid, that is all. FTC claims house flipping seminars featuring HGTV TV stars are total scams. And I would like, because, I'm looking at this business from a businessman standpoint. I'm not looking at like, okay, how can I get in here and I make some cake? First thing is you need some money. I'm not trying to do this without any money. The second thing is you need some skin in the game, and you need some business savvy. Because I'm just sitting here, and this is one of the things that has consistently revealed itself. You got guys who've been doing this 10, 15 years, and they still got to borrow money, which tells me that they don't know how to build a self-fulfilling organization. Because based upon, what they've said, they shouldn't have to borrow money at this juncture to do their deals. And this is one of the things that just got revealed to me as a business-minded person who's getting into this game. Oh, Rod, for real estate, I'm 100% almost there. Because that's one of the things. Because, I asked myself, when these guys are showing their houses, there's no construction crew there. So for me to control the process, I'm going to have to control the people. So instead of us having a contractor that's just walk up and like, hey, I'm going to have to get some guys to do the kitchen. I'm going to have to get some bathroom guys. I'm going to have to get some guys who do drywall. Stadium staff, I just built a 2015 Dodge Charger with Hemi and 50K miles. I bought the car for $3K. Parts and labor takes me to $8K in total. Nobody talks about going to auction. Actually, there's a lot of people who talk about auctions. There are several YouTube channels devoted to rehabbing cars. There's a lot of people talking about that. Beach Logic, unless you sell it on owner financing, deals sit out cash in 2 years, take $20K and make another $2. Yeah, the numbers don't make any sense for this stuff. I'm just looking at it because I looked at neighborhoods. I know what comps are. And I'm like, you got in trouble and you trying to shovel your troubles off to someone else. What's up, Antonio? Oh, auctions. Rod, for real estate. A lot of times they have many jobs going on at once. And that's one of the things I don't want to have. I'd rather have set it up where we do houses. They go from project to project to project. What's up, Uncle O'Shea? Thanks for the $10 Polish money. Because the way I'm thinking of setting this up is I go ahead, I set up a wholesale operation where it gets me in contact with the distressed property owners, which cuts out the wholesaler, and then have a crew of about 8 to 12 guys to go in and rehab. I already got a guy who could be my plumber and, just simple paint, and just go ahead and get these guys consistently. I'm like, look, you will consistently work if you work for me. I'm waiting for the Jeff Bezos seminar, how to build a $1 trillion e-commerce business in 30 days. Stating there's a guy who does 30 flips in Colorado. He borrows money every flip. Most of the buys are 200 up in rehab. 30 flips a year. Beach Logic, get one guy with all the skills and the rest of general workers. Flipping is about efficiency. Yes, build your own. That's how I see it has to be done. Because where do I see that these people on Zillow, they went ahead, they got a piece of property, and they ran into cost overruns because they don't know how to manage a construction job. I know someone right now who's managing a construction job, and it's weighing heavy on her. It's like, she's probably at the house right now. If you plan it right, you can pull it off, but you have to have your own guys. Oh, yeah, definitely. Junie, I'm currently in the suffering stage of changing my life economically. I really like the live stream you had where you mentioned selling free stuff you finding. Oh, anything. Beach Logic and be in the construction business. Don't be in the construction business, be in the renovation business. Oh, I like, because this is what I'm looking at, because right now, good construction crews are hard to find because they're busy. So I may have to wait until this melt down a little bit to get a crew to get into some houses. I don't know. And Tony, I'm not too far from Nashville. I've seen rent go from 900 to 1,500 in less than 200 years. I mean, this is what happens in these, Atlanta. I mean, I'm seeing a lot of stuff happen here in Atlanta like that. I remember I was talking to this real estate investor, and she was just talking about how her properties have appreciated in just 4 years. When she got them, she was at like $50,000 in equity. Now she's at $250,000 in equity. But, to the stream's content, you got to suffer. Oh, yeah, because essentially, go ahead, set up the wholesale operation, get the deals. And as the deals come in, put the construction crew on the deals, because I'm going to save money on the front end, and I'm actually going to get the renovations done at wholesale versus retail pricing. Because I go out and I hire a GC to do the work. He got to make some money, so he's going to price it with a profit. Whereas if I hire my own guys, so I save money on the wholesale money, on the taking the wholesale out, finding my own deals. Then I save money on the construction aspect. So I look at it as a viable long-term plan. Yeah, that's something I got to look into, because that's where I see the inefficiencies in the marketplace. The wholesalers and the rehabbers. I think it's a talk. Well, the thing is, you got a lot of people out here flipping houses. Got a lot of people out here doing this stuff, but a lot of them, they're not making the money I think they should be making. Appliance boot cap. Most flippers don't have enough cash to keep a good construction crew busy from start to finish. So they start with a good crew, run out of money, then end up being stuck by a bad crew. This is how I see it doing. Have the wholesalers, have the deals come in, and have the guys working on 3 to 5 houses at once every month. And then when they finish with them, there's immediate properties for them to go work on, because we're not spending all this money. Absolutely. No need to have a 25% margin, including all costs. Oh, definitely. Because, I'm seeing, like, every day on Zillow, I see someone that got in trouble. They got one property and they ran out of money. And I'm like, why does this keep happening? The market's really hot and there's a lot of people in it, but there are people who are not business people. There are people in it. I need to get this house. I need to flip it. I need to make some money. What I would do is I would just go out and find a halfway decent crew and say, look, all right, this is what I can offer you, competitive wages, and just take their profit out of it. And the thing he gets is he's always busy. Yeah, because, that's one of my biggest fears, getting these contractors, because the best contractors are busy and the best contractors are more expensive. So, we got to So that's how I'm thinking about setting it up. That way I can go ahead and create a firm and just get more properties, because these wholesale fees, I mean, if you do 3 to 5 houses a month, your wholesale fees could be 60 to 100K. That's rehab money. So, once again, I'm looking at this from a business standpoint, and, look at the properties, see what they need, and then negotiate longer deals with these people. Like, since I have my own company, my own crew, my own money, I can say, hey, I'll tell you what, if you give us this property for a year, in a year I'll pay you X amount of dollars. So what I can do is rehab it, get a renter in there making money, and just essentially pay the guy the rent money. Just put the rent money in the bank, pay the guy the rent money, and then sell it and cash out. There's so many ways to do it. There's so many ways to do it, because I'm looking at how to make the most money, most bang for the buck from a long-term perspective. Because just buying a house and getting some renter in there, these prices here are a little high right now, because, and they're selling. These properties are moving pretty quickly. But, going back to the topic, you guys, you're going to have to suffer. It's unavoidable. And the longer that you put that off, the longer that you put off your growth, the longer that you put off moving to the next level. I learned from experience. I'm sitting on 3 houses waiting on my crew to fit me in. If they aren't busy, it's a reason. Well, yeah, I mean, the better crews are going to be busy. And then, going ahead and saying, hey, I can keep you consistently busy. I can keep you busy during the winter. I can keep you busy during the so-called slow times. That will get me some people, because, these contractors are interesting. I don't know. I just see a house that's unfinished, and they're trying to sell it for $160,000, $190,000, talking about you only need 20, 30K more rehab money. I don't know what they were doing. See, this is a good lesson. I often say, before you get funding, you need to skill yourself up. You need to make yourself a technician. You need to become competent. This is what happens when people can get funding but don't have any experience. So they get in there, they get in trouble, they run out of money, and now they got to bail out. They got to pay those bills. This is why I'm saying, it's better to become competent. It is better to know what you're doing before you get the money. Because, this is what I see, and I'm going to go out and start meeting with people. And I'm just going to set up my little operation. Oh man, I believe that, because once you go ahead and start developing your own crew, then you put yourself in a position. They were paying retail for everything on the house rehab. Definitely. Beach Logic, renovate beach properties in secondary markets and put on Airbnb, pay off in 5 to 7 years. And that's another thing I looked at. I've been crunching the numbers. If I can get a house at 32K, and then I put 32K in rehab costs with my crew, that's $64,000. And I can get a renter in there for $1,500 to $1,800. I'm making 10 to 12% on my money. And that house will pay for itself in 4 to 5 years. It'll become a cash cow. The bank repo market is a sign of a storm brewing in the economy. You know, beachfront is beachfront. I get that. But I'm just looking at my opportunities here in Atlanta because, you know, like I'll see up in Michigan, you can get these properties for $20,000, $30,000, turn out rent them for $800 to $1,000 a month. You're almost paying these suckers off in a year. So, and I want to have a lot of properties, and this is the way that I'm figuring out how to make more money from my money. Because I'm holding on to my money. I'm steadily stacking, because I'm not going to just jump out here to go like, oh, I got a rental. Okay, does your rental make money? Does your numbers make sense, you know? And this is why, you know, people got to suffer. The tiny house movement is huge right now. You have a lot of people who are living in vans, RVs, tiny houses, because they just don't have the money to live the way they want to. So this is the way that I see that I can get in the market and make some very good money by, you know, doing more. Because one of the big things is, like, you know, there's this guy, I'm not going to say his name because I don't think he's a bad dude, but he's been wholesaling 14 years and he doesn't have any rentals. Based upon what I know about the Internal Revenue Service, you need rentals if you wholesale it to offset your gains. So that was another lesson. But, you know, we got a lot of people out here doing foolish stuff, crazy stuff. People out here who are just getting in the market because they got money, they're buying property, but they're not building a system. They're not building a business. Carl Young, the millennials are bohemian, refusing to get married, to buy a house, or work overtime. I would disagree with working overtime, but yeah, they're not getting married and they're not buying houses because they don't make no money, man. They don't make the money. I know you can buy tiny homes right off Amazon. And I was looking at Cheap RV Living. It's a YouTube channel here on YouTube. And I'm just looking at all of these people, and it's all about money. It's about cost. It's about living cheaply because they just can't make more money. This is what so many of these folks are doing. Oh, yeah, with zoning, because you can't put tiny houses everywhere. So I think, you know, for as long as we think about, most folks are going to go for an average house. The whole living in your van, the whole living tiny house movement is large, and I think it's going to get bigger. But if you could have your ability to live in a 2 or 3 bedroom house or apartment by yourself, or live in a van, what you gonna do? And a lot of these people are making these choices based on finances. They're not making these choices based upon, hey, I just want to live in a van because it'll be cool. Oh, I want to live in a van because it'll be cheap. If I can go ahead and get me a van, trick it out, and I don't have to pay rent. And I want you to think about the number of people who are using composting toilets, the number of people who are, elderly folks are doing this. They're sick. They have issues that they're living in cars. They're living in vans because they don't have money to live the way they want to. This is the big thing that I see that's going on. And essentially, if you were to suffer, and let's talk about suffering. When I was in that boarding house, I suffered economically, mentally, and at times physically. It was hidden from all corners. And I had to stare at the cold truth that I did not have skills. The reason that I was in that boarding house was I did not have skills. I had to face a harsh economic truth, and I figured a way to get around that. But I dealt with the reality of my truth. And my truth was I didn't have economically viable skills at that time. That's where I was. So as I began to accept the truth and act upon the truth, I got better. I skilled myself up in 2.5 years. So it doesn't take you forever to get your life together, but it will take you being honest with yourself, being direct with yourself. Because as long as you keep going, it's the economy, it's racism, it's Trump, all these excuses to keep from assigning blame to self, you're going to continue to suffer. Man, there's a lot of people who are living in vans who are not dope fiends, man. It's a big movement. I watch it every day because why are there so many people living in vans? Why is that such a routine social norm now? That, Walmarts, that it is known that people could park in Walmart parking lots at night. Why is this such a big thing? Because making money in America has changed. When I was a kid, all it took was some energy to make money. Go collect some bottles from such and such and take them to the store and get 5 cents a bottle. There were so many ways to make money that don't exist anymore. Unless a kid is technologically advanced, it's hard for them to make money. Babysitting, mowing grass, that doesn't work everywhere. So you got to face your suffering. You got to be honest. If you're bad with money, say I'm bad with money. I was watching one of Dave Ramsey's shows today, and this woman admitted that she was the problem. She said, I did that. I made the mistake. I was the problem. And that's why she's still married, because she accepted responsibility. Oh yeah, man, the van life thing is real. Colleges allow students to sleep in their cars. Colleges need to lower their costs. Well, we're in a strange place with college because many people are just not going. It's too expensive. But this is an economic truth because, I was looking at this woman who said that, she had ran up $20,000 in credit card debt. She had reckless spending and she accepted responsibility. She suffered. She had to tell her husband that she did that. And she had to deal with that. And she had to let that dog sleep in the bed that she made. And many people are just trying to escape accountability. They don't want to be accountable. Don't want to, don't want to, like I keep telling y'all the path and many people keep rejecting it. First thing you got to do is buy back your time. You got to create a business. It could be your first or second, your first, third business that just gets you what you make from your job so you get to control your time. That is the secret. Once you're able to control your time, the door is open. Oh man, the van marketplace, resale marketplace is crazy. But once again, you want to get your time back. You want to get it where you actually control your time. Like today, I had breakfast. I didn't watch any movies. I just kind of lounged around. But I get to control my time. I did some research for real estate because, I'm like, how much is it going to cost me to get my GC license and stuff, because I just came to that point today because if I, get my license, run my own crew, the cost savings are crazy. And if I have my own resale, my own wholesale business where I'm able to reach out, because the thing is, I don't need that many deals per month. 2 to 5 deals per month is plenty. If I got enough work to keep a construction crew busy, 5 deals a month, and I can always sub them out to someone else. See, that's one of the things that, I got to start networking with people and let people know what I do. Because everybody's looking for a shortcut out of painful living. You got a job. I don't deal with authority. I want to do my own thing. Have you skilled yourself up enough to do your own thing? With all the baby boomers die off, there will be a ton of homes coming on the market. I don't think so. You got to look at what's happened economically. You have so many situations where there are 2 to 3 generations living under one roof. So when these baby boomers die off, the people who already live in those houses will continue to live in those houses. Because you got to look at, most people are poor. There was this report that automation is going to disproportionately affect black men more so than any other group. And I begin to, and I actually believe that because here in Atlanta, I get to see that most of the truck drivers I see are black. This is from the Kroger truck over the road. Most of the postal workers I see are black. And I'm beginning to see how this thing is setting itself up to fall. Because unless you're able to start your own business, generate your own money, you could be in trouble. You could be in trouble because this is the suffering part. You're going to suffer learning how to sell. You're going to suffer learning how to market. You're going to suffer learning how to set up your business. And there are so many people who just don't want to do it. Just like, I ain't gonna do that, man. I'm gonna be up here with Big Booty Betty. I'm gonna be up here with Big Booty Betty. And buying cryptocurrency ain't going to help you. If you barely have any money right now, how in the hell is buying cryptocurrency going to help you? Apple Mac, if you're poor, I suggest learning a skill online and quickly get the earning, but make sure you're doing this demand and pays well, then take that money and buy real estate for long-term passive income. I mean, that's the game plan. That's the play because of the way the thing is set up. If like right now, I like hustling. But am I going to like hustling at 62? Also, this is something else that just happened to me. I was doing some research for disruptive male, the dominant male. And I met this girl one time. We were not intimate. We just went out, had a good time. She had to go out of town. You know, this trick asked me for $4,500. And I said, no. It ain't the case. I ain't even lie. It's like, I don't have it. I'm like, I got it. I'm just not loaning it. I'm not giving it. And she said, lend. I was like, that would be a give. She asked me for $4,500 because she came to this house. And I mean, just, it surprised me because I've been hit up before, but usually there's a lot more buttering up. She was just like, bam, I need $4,500. I'm like, no. She said, I need the money. I was like, you need to find another source. And I was it just hit me. And then I met another one who's trying to run a scam on me, talking about, she needs my help to receive $5.5 million. And I'm just sitting there like, what the hell? People out here need money because she's still, I was like, you're not running your business. And I just let her know. I just flexed my whole financial education on her. I was like, no, you're doing this wrong. You're doing this wrong. You have cash flow problems. This is why you ran into this situation. Because I can already see that her business, even if I was foolish enough to lend her the money, she wouldn't be able to pay me back. Because the way she runs her business. Nah, I wasn't wearing this hat, man. It was just funny. I know 89 Dr. Fun lend. Yep, Malik. She got sources. Well, see, she just came to the house. Black, BK from the Rockies. I know it's a 100% scam. Carl Young, women are in trouble. Men are not falling for scams. I mean, the 4,500, I don't think it's a scam, but I just don't think that she would have the ability to repay because of the way that she's running her business, because of the problem that she ran into. I know, that's crazy. Tricks are broke, relationships are dead. No one has a clue how to bring in income outside of employment. And that's one of the biggest issues, because once you learn to make money under your own power, it's a game changer. Everything changes. Oh, it's this neighborhood. When you drive here, you pass all these mansions and stuff, and the way that the front is very ornate. Black Caesar. I came across the episode of 90 Day Fiance one week. Some beta male punk got catfished and got beat out of 40K from a person he never met. Dev Copper, did you make your come up by yourself or with other people as a group? I came up by my damn self. Say it with your chest. I came up with my damn self. Very proud of that. See, this whole group economics, like the person I know who's part of this real estate group, she's doing all the work. She's learning the most, and she's had some situations with the other investors, but I'm doing this by my damn self. That's how I roll. Because when you start getting partnerships with people who are lazy, who don't want to work, you start having problems. Find a woman in a rusty Pinto. If you pull up in a Hummer like mine, they see you as a ripe fruit. I mean, she came with it. I know. Say it with your chest. I could say that. I had one very good business partner in life that was helpful. But other than her, this has been 100% on G. All right. Well, essentially, if you're going to pull a group of people together to do one task, everybody needs to be focused on getting that job done. That's the key. You cannot get into partnerships with lazy people or people who are looking for that quick lick. Like, look, I've been talking to you guys about real estate for a minute. And I'm looking at a way to get into it from a profitability standpoint in a long-term perspective because, everybody's going to wholesale crazy. Dev Copper, at one time my wife left me with very atrocious credit. I had to fix that. Sebastian Williams, you're going to have to straighten that out. Essentially, the path to success is facing your truths, facing your bullshit, and getting out your own way because a lot of people just are lazy. Just put it bluntly, they're just lazy. And people are looking for shortcuts to avoid suffering. That's what a lot of these questions are predicated on. How can I get to X, Y, and Z without experiencing any hardship? That seems to be the common thread. How do I do this and not go through any hardship? How do I do this, come out on top without, doing anything hard or suffering or going through anything? I listen to Dave Ramsey all the time. And he's like, it's going to take you 2 to 5 years to get out of this mess. if you do X, Y, and Z. Braxton action, you can kiss my ass. I am not running for office. And let's talk about this. Let's go directly to Braxton's supposition. You need to see me make money to believe that I can help you make money. That's a fallacy. Because unless you're just like me, you're not going to get the results that I'm getting. You know, that's just a crop, a crock of crap. Like, I need to see your tax returns. I need to see how much money you made. Okay. No. Here's the sad truth. Unless you are dedicated, committed, and driven to your success on a maniacal level, more than likely it ain't gonna happen. You gotta be a little crazy about your success. You gotta own it. You gotta be obsessed. And this is why most people don't have unusual success. This is why most people have a hard time going to the next level. G3 balling. Start earlier. Highly favored. I'm self-employed with a lot of write-offs. I want to buy a house. And you can get a house right now. If you breathing, they're giving people houses right now. What's up, Johnny Walton? So, getting a house is a good goal, but having enough money to repair the house, because this is something else that I've seen too. The number of people who let their house fall into disrepair. Oh, I'm Hollywood Prep. I'm not worried about him. I wanted to buy that motel on Metropolitan because it was up for sale by Vail, because I tried to do it by myself instead of networking because of lack of trust. It was only $275K. There's a motel on Metropolitan? I don't even know what that looks like because that neighborhood has changed so much. But that used to be the crack corridor. I mean, prostitutes everywhere, drug dealers everywhere, and that neighborhood has changed. I mean, also by forming my own company and getting my own crew going, I can do more. Beach Lodge, it probably rents by the hour. Well, a lot of people get into houses the wrong way. This is why financial education is so important. A real financial education. Like, if the house is on the bank's balance sheet as an asset, it can't be on your balance sheet as an asset until you flip it and you realize some money. This is one of the things that people need to understand. They need to know the language of money. They need to know how money works, how money talks. So one of the things that has to happen is people have to start facing their own crap, because you know who you are. And unless you solve those little problems, oh yes, crack and horse sleep. The motel was called a Townsend Inn or something. I think it had 14 units, but stayed full. Yeah, that's where those girls took their tricks, man. Are you talking about the hotel that's like in the dip of Metropolitan just before you go up the hill and hit that right and hit the Kroger? All right. Carry on. Best way to get private properties. Get a single wide tropic trailer, pay it off, rent it, get a double wide, pay it off. That's funny. There's a lot of opportunities out here. There's many ways to go at it. And one of the things that, like I said, I've been watching a lot of real estate videos. If I had to start all over again, I would become proficient in Facebook ads. All right, Simja D. It was like, okay, that was the place that was in that dip. And Tony Williams, I found this janitor thing for a while and found a new lane of money. Oh, there's so many ways to get money, man. There are so many ways to stack it, set it up. But the thing is, a lot of people want to make money clean. Like Hood Estates trucking course is probably selling like hotcakes. Spend $40K, get you a truck, make you $1,000 a week, make you $50,000 a year passively. $50,000 a year passively is a lot of money. And that's just one truck. I don't know anything about laundromats. Because, from what I've been seeing, a lot of this stuff depends upon poor neighborhoods, like wholesaling. I keep seeing these numbers, 30, 40, 50, $100,000. Most of the houses in the country are under 300,000. What about, like the person I know, they bought a house for 475. They put 125 in it and they flipped it for 815. So they're gonna make 200K. So, you got to look at that in terms of, because there's so many ways to do real estate. And wholesaling, because, I'm like, these wholesalers, some of them making millions of dollars a year, but they have not created an operating budget to buy and hold property. It's crazy. Because Send me, I agree with what you said about the guy Omni and Hellcat, because he doesn't talk about how he makes money, but people love to flash, so he's literally buying subscribers on YouTube. Pretty much. Apple Mac, I have to agree. Once you go through the pain of learning how to sell and starting a business, you should be good for life. Pretty much. I did homework this past weekend and watched the whole movie, The Company Men, and couldn't believe how fast a person could go from being king of the hill to a lowly contractor helper. Oh, man. And if you notice, the one that bailed him out was the man who helped start that company, who actually got fired by the principal partner. He had money to start another business because he was part of starting that business. And I mean, once again, so many people are predicated on these jobs that they don't understand true economic empowerment. They don't understand how to start a business. They don't understand why it is so important to start a business. why it is super important, why you got to, because see, the suffering, because there's so many people who are trying to avoid the suffering, avoid accountability, that's holding them back. Because that was my situation. My first 18 months in that boarding house, I was mad. I was angry at everybody. I was blaming everybody. But only when I started to focus on what I could do, what the problems were, being realistic, did things start to change. And that's where many of you are. You're looking for a quick lick. You're looking for a way to elevate your life without making any changes. And that's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. And one of the things that you guys got to understand is suffering makes you stronger. It makes you stronger. When you suffer and you persevere, you get stronger. And many people want to avoid that lesson, want to avoid those truths. So take this to heart. Stop avoiding suffering and look at the straightest path to a direct line, to success. It's a direct line. No, I'm not messing with the government or high schools. All right. So with that, I'll see you guys later.